So today, the Contract DLC was released into GTA Online, and in this video, I am going to be doing a buyer beware for hopefully everything this DLC has included. If you want to know if it's worth it to purchase, this is the video for you. Now, wasting no time, I want to get into the 4 agencies first. A lot of people were asking me which one is the best. You find them on the Dynasty 8 website here. These are the 4 locations. The one I'm in at the moment is this one, which is the most expensive one, but you do have these 3 other options over here on the western side of the city. We have the Little Seoul one. That one is 2 million. I think that was the cheapest. The Vespucci Canals, that one's 2.1 mil. And then the Rockford Hills at 2.4 mil. The one I'm at, it's not going to show it, but I believe it's like 2.8 or 2.9 mil. What I'm going to do is show you guys the views from these 4 locations so you can determine which one you think is better. The first one is, of course, the one we're in, the Hawick. And this is the view you're going to get from the bedroom area. So there's the bed. This is the view out into the city. It's a pretty nice view, actually, of the city. Nice openness over here on the left. The one downside to this is that, well, when you go down the stairs, there's no view because there's just a giant building right there. So unfortunately, that's something that you're going to have to deal with if you end up getting this one. Here's the same view just from below. So a pretty solid view. Also for this building, or this is the building, and this is sort of the area around it. There's a bunch of other big buildings. The front is pretty nice. The entrance is that door right there. The garage is right there. Not the prettiest building, but you know, it is what it is. The next one I want to showcase is this one, the Rockford Hills. This was the $2.4 million one. Here is the outside of it. It's next to the movie studio. It does have a helipad on top. I believe all of them will have a helipad on top. And as for the entrance, it looks like it's down here. So the entrance is basically just right there in the middle of our screen. And then the garage, it seems like, is actually down below. So if we go down here, if I can fly this, right there is the entrance to the garage. So it is underground. It's kind of like the Arcadius in that aspect. It's not that big of an area underground, but I guess maybe it provides a little safety. Now, as for the view in the Rockford Hills agency, it's not that great. There's that ugly building. I mean, there is the movie studio that you kind of get a peek into. There's also this giant building here that's in your way, obstructing the view of the city. I think fortunately, though, you do have a decent view when you're going up the stairs of the ocean in the distance, and I guess also of the movie studio. But unlike the first one, this one's view is, I think, definitely not as good. The third location we're going to take a look at is the Little Seoul one. This one is the cheapest one. And we get out. We can take a look. We go back up here. It's this giant building we just sort of slammed into. So as far as the area surrounding it, it is sort of the only big building in the immediate vicinity. The entrance, you can see the blue little circle is right there. A little ways off from the street, so it could be annoying to get to. The garage, however, is down here, actually kind of a little ways away from the entrance. So if that's something that matters, that could be an annoying thing. As for the view, this one is actually not bad. It's pretty nice. It's nice. It's a nice view of the mountains and the observatory and even the Vinewood sign you can kind of see. This one is a lot higher up than the previous one, and I think even the first one. So you do get that nice elevation. And if you're wondering what the second view you get when you're walking up the stairs, it's actually a nice view of the city. So this one might have some, you might run into some issues with the entrance, the 2 entrances. That might get annoying, but at least the views for the cheapest one are very good. The fourth and final location is the Vespucci Canals one, and it's the one we actually knew about going into this DLC. It's this building to my right, the one that is actually sort of just by itself. I personally think this is the best location because it's sort of away from everything. At least there's nothing too crazy around it. The entrance is right here, right next to two pretty big highways or two pretty big streets. The garage is just right around back, right off the street as well. So you're not going to run into any problems, or you're not going to have any annoyances going in and out. Now, as for the view of this one, I guess it's probably not as good as the first one or even the Little Seoul one, but I kind of like how it looks down upon the skate park. It's a different, maybe vibe is the right word. I don't know, but I personally just like that a lot. I like the look of just looking down into the, seeing what the NPCs are up to. If you were curious about the secondary view, it's actually probably one of the better ones. Just nice view out into the Vespucci Canals area, even the beach out there in the distance, kind of towards the airport in the far distance. I really like that view, but here is the main view yet again. It's not as high up, but it's maybe a little bit more intimate if that's your style. So those are the 4 agencies. Hopefully you can decide which one you like more. Again, personally, I like this one, although my second choice probably is the Little Seoul one. So the 2 cheapest ones are probably the best to go with. Now, there's a bunch of other things you can buy in this DLC, especially actually with the agency. So let's go back into the website. And if you go ahead and renovate or try and purchase something, there are a couple of options here that you might want to be aware of. So wallpaper and highlight, these are just going to cost whatever it costs. It's just cosmetics if you like a certain look. But the ones you're going to want to spend maybe a little bit more money on are these 3 right here: the Armory, the Accommodation, and the Vehicle Workshop. The Armory is basically just the ammunition, but in your office. It's got some very cool features, which I'll go over to in a second. This is sort of up to you because I do believe it costs $720K. That's a lot of money, but I personally like what you get out of it. So that's something I think is worth it. The Accommodation, it's probably not worth it, but it's not that much. All it does, of course, is add a bed and a place where you can like change clothes and stuff. If you have a million of those already, you probably don't need this if you want to save the cash. But I will say one cool thing that can happen: Chop can hop on your bed, and you don't get that anywhere else. And then the third thing, the Vehicle Workshop. Of course, this is something that you probably want to add just because it's nice to just customize your vehicles in the same garage instead of going in and out. So honestly, all 3 of these are, I would say, pretty good buys if you are buying an agency, which will, of course, as you see, add that price up. Now, if you're wondering what that Armory adds, it's this whole little wing right here. We can talk to this dude, and this is actually where you can buy some of the new weapons, like the EMP rifle, I believe. That's right here, the EMP launcher. You also have, I think, in pistols, the stun gun. You might be able to purchase those at the ammunition, but you can get them here as well. You can also purchase any other weapon, even Mark II stuff. One of the things I hate is that you can't ever just buy ammo for the Mark II weapons unless you go to your MOC. Well, you can do that here. So that's fantastic. You can customize them all. You can also very easily max out your body armor slots. So if you're going into like a mission where you need body armor, you just go here, boom, we're full now. You can also get parachutes here, so that's cool as well. And then you get these little benefits. You can pick up ammo if you don't have it, and you can actually pick up little health packs. You can also browse for night vision and the rebreather, and I guess these other earpieces. So just, I think this is a very useful little addition. I would highly recommend getting the Armory. Now, of course, besides the main reason of buying the agency, to actually play the DLC missions, you get a 20-car garage. That's another very nice benefit. And if you do get the vehicle upgrade, the Vehicle Workshop, which is right there, you can add these Amani tech options. So if we go to the workshop, there's this new section on only a certain vehicle or a couple of vehicles from this DLC. It's a little weird. I don't think any of the supercars have this, but the Buffalo here does. It's this Amani tech. And this is actually where we can put the missile lock-on jammer. And I want to talk a little bit about these 2 options because unfortunately you can only have one at a time on a vehicle. And I'll just show you guys right now. If you want to switch, you have to rebuy the other thing, and $400,000 is a lot if you want to re-switch like constantly. So just pick one of these and be done with it. The one you should always be picking is the missile lock-on jammer. And actually, you can only get this by purchasing the vehicle workshop in here. So that's probably another reason you'd want to buy it. But for sure, the missile lock-on jammer is something you want to purchase and put on every vehicle. What that does is, like it says, protects your personal vehicle from homing missile lock-on. This protects it from oppressor Mark IIs, jets, basically anything that can lock on. Well, now it can't. And it always is happening. Like, nowhere can you get locked onto. The remote control unit is a little different. It basically turns any personal vehicle into the RC Bandito. It is $235,000, and honestly, I don't think it's worth it. It basically is only in the game to troll people. It does have unlimited range. You and the car, I believe, are off the radar, so that's cool. But the problem is it's only in first person, and you can't turn the camera. So you don't actually know really where you're at or where you're going, if anyone even is in your vehicle, because you can't look. The only option you do have when you put this remote control unit on is to blow up the car. You can detonate the car, which I guess makes it basically a faster RC Bandito. The problem is you have to pay for the insurance, unlike the RC Bandito. So I don't think the remote control unit is that good. I would definitely recommend just staying with the missile lock-on jammer. Now, in a couple other vehicles, there's one other thing that you can get. You can get these primary weapons. A couple of these vehicles have these mounted machine guns, which I think just go like somewhere in the grill. I don't know. They're 300K. Don't put those on. These are probably the most worthless things in the game. These things do no damage. Just keep it at none. If you want, you can maybe put on a proximity mine. It's a slick proximity mine, I believe. It's only 135K. Not too bad. It's a little extra thing. You just plop it down. That's not a bad purchase. Now, actually, I do want to talk about the vehicles since we're here. Quickly running through them. This is not gonna be a very in-depth breakdown because that would just make the video way too long. Let's start with the Buffalo here. The Buffalo, I would say, is probably one of the better vehicles that was released so far. It does have 28 different categories for customization, so it does have some very good customization. It looks incredible. It's almost like a recreation of the IRL car, which is weird. I don't know how Rockstar pulled that off, but it does look amazing. And like I showed you guys, it is one of the few vehicles that you can put the Amani tech on, that you can put the missile lock-on jammers and stuff. So that, of course, is a huge benefit. You can also put this armor plating on, which makes it look a little, probably a lot uglier than you would hope. However, that makes this car survive, I think, about 8 to 10 homing missiles, which is quite a bit. So if you do want to have the ultimate just like survivability car, this is a very good option. There is one weird thing. Hopefully Rockstar fix it, and that is the lights at night. I don't know what's going on here, but you can almost not even see. They're just, the lights on the back are just so bright. I mean, I guess you can just turn them off and be fine with it, but it is something I figured I'd point out that might get annoying. All in all, though, I would say this is a fantastic buy. You can get the trade price at 1.6 mil, I think, just simply by playing some of the missions. And I would say that is a great purchase for what you get in this vehicle. It is, I do want to point out real quick, a muscle car. You can see at the bottom right. So if you were wondering if this was like a sports car that's 4 doors, unfortunately it is a muscle car. So maybe if that affects your decision, it's possible. But again, I still think it's a good purchase. Now, a couple of these other cars, I'm gonna be honest, there's not a whole lot to them. I guess we'll just start from right and then work our way to left. We have the Pipster Astron. This is actually the Porsche SUV, and it does look like the Porsche SUV from the front. The back, however, I think is a little weird, and if you do drive in third person, that is something that you probably want. You want the back to look good, right? So it just looks a little weird. You can see from this angle, it kind of just like juts out. Looks a little awkward. Also, if we look at the price, it is 1.6 million for an SUV. I just personally don't think that's worth it. It is fast for an SUV. It does perform pretty decently, again, for an SUV, but 1.6 mil is a little ridiculous for an SUV. And that's sort of the theme with some of these vehicles. Before we get into those three, we'll go to this one. This is the Enis Jubilee. And again, it's an SUV that costs a lot of money. That's just not that good. The interior cannot be colored, so you can't change any of that. It's got this pretty, I mean, I guess it's subjective, but I think it's an ugly roof window on the top. It doesn't really sound that great either. I haven't driven it a whole bunch, but the few times I have driven it, it's not the greatest handling. So I would say pass on this one. Like the last one, the Astron. I just personally don't find it necessary to buy an SUV for $1.7 million. Unless you have $1 billion, just stay clear of this one. Even for the trade price, it's not that great, but for the trade price, you have to unlock 20 security contracts, so it's going to take a while to do that. Just skipped it. Then we have the Enis Deity. It's a fine looking vehicle, at least from the front. If we go into first person, it does look good from the front. But much like the Porsche SUV over there, the back is where it just gets a little ugly. Like, it's hard to tell because this wall is so close. But the taillights are huge. And it's a little obnoxious when you are driving in third person again. It is a 4-door, as you see. We get in, it's in the sedan class. So, you know, maybe that might be something you grab if you want something from the sedan class. But the problem, yet again, is the price. This Deity is 1.8 million with a trade price of 1.4 mil. I just don't think it's worth it for this particular vehicle. That brings us to the Lampada Cinquamilla. If I'm saying that correctly. I believe this is a Maserati in real life. This one, honestly, it's just, I would say it's just okay. This is nothing special. It's a 4-seater. I believe it's also a sedan. Let's go ahead and hop in and check. We're in the sedan class again. I haven't driven it too much, so again, the in-depth is not going to be the greatest, but it's an okay vehicle. It looks good. It's got some okay customization, nothing great. The model, it's very plain. Interior's okay. If we take a look at the price, it is 1.7, basically 1.8 mil. And for a sedan, it's not even a sport or a supercar. It's just, I would personally stay away. Maybe buy it when it's on sale in a couple of weeks. But then that brings us to probably two of the better vehicles from this DLC. We have the Ignis and the Dubachi Champion. Now these, unfortunately, even though they are the best, they're expensive. Let's just take a look at the price real quick. So look at this. The Ignis, 2.7, 2.8 mil basically. And then the Champion, actually the buy it now price, it doesn't show it here because I completed the missions to unlock the trade price, but the buy it now price is $3 million. Now, of course, here 2.2 makes it a little bit more reasonable, but still 3 mil is a lot. So these are very expensive cars. Are they worth it? This one right here, 100% yes. This one is like 90% yes, but maybe wait for a sale because it does lack a couple of things. This one right here, though, the Ignis, it's a fantastic model. Honestly, probably one of the best models Rockstar's ever made in this game. And I know I have it customized terribly here because I haven't actually gone through to like customize these things the way they should be, but it just looks so actually, you know what? Here's a picture that makes it look way better than what I have in this garage. It looks phenomenal. I would spend the 2.7 mil simply just for the model. No customization, nothing. Like it, that's how good this thing is. But in addition to the model, it's actually very, very good performance-wise. I don't know specifically if it's like top 2, top 3 or whatever, but just driving it around, it's very fast. It is very grippy, so you're not sliding around. The handling is very good. And the customization is actually pretty solid as well. There's also a spoiler that it's an adaptive or whatever it's called spoiler where it will go up as you go faster. Overall, it's just one of the best cars I think Rockstar's added in recent memory. The rims look great. You can even paint those. There, I think, are some glitches you have to do that, but you can get these stock rims painted. So 100%, and look at that interior too. 100% purchase this, even for the 2.7 mil. I would say so. This one, on the other hand, I love the look. The look is phenomenal. The front, that is a beautiful looking car. The problem is that it's also a supercar, so I think it falls a little bit behind performance-wise compared to the Ignis. The interior is nothing special either. The customization is okay. I mean, it's got some decent stuff, but nothing crazy. I would say unless you're like a super hardcore fan of like this particular car, I think it's an Aston Martin. In real life, more than likely just wait for a sale because it's a great car, but not for the 3 mil. Maybe for the 2.2 mil if you can get the trade price. But even then, I'd probably just spend my money on the Ignis here. So with that being said, that I think is going to do it for this buyer beware. It might have been a little longer of a video. Sorry about that. But I do just want to help you guys out. Save your money if you can in this DLC. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you guys disagree with anything, for sure let me know. I'd be curious to hear you guys' opinions on some of these things. Overall, I think while this was a fairly expensive DLC, it did bring a lot of great products and great features. It's just unfortunate that the actual way to make money in this DLC is not the best. But maybe we'll find out a more efficient way to grind that to see if it's as good as the Cayo Perico. That video, though, probably won't come until tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. This was my buyer beware for the contract DLC in GTA Online. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you all in the next one.